Hi Aquarius, or welcome to your quantum reading with me, Jocelyn, the Quantum Queen. So, let me get through my normal intro. This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And as always, welcome to my cross watchers. And cross watcher, you could be dealing with an Aquarius, and the message could be for you. So feel free to take it however it resonates to you and your situation. And let's see, what else do I say? If you guys would like to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can find my information down below in the description box. Also, if you guys would like to make a good karma donation, that information is also located down below. And just wanted to say thank you to those who have made donations. I appreciate it so much, and thank you for liking and subscribing. Just make sure that you hit the notification bell off to the side so that you get notified when I post my videos, and every once in a blue moon when I go live, whenever that happens. So, Aquarius, what can we get for you? Man, I was doing your guys' pre-shuffle, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty confused. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's at least for one of you that I'm tapping into, but I'm getting a lot of confusion, okay? And I do think it's also because of the Mercury retrograde, because we're coming out of it. So I do think that's a big influencer. And we just had a new moon in, I think it was in Aquarius, actually. Dude, Aquarius, come on. Oh, interesting. Okay, we've got the hummingbird. I am going to take that one. And let's see, just one more. Let's get another one. Interesting. Okay, I am going to take those three. That's an interesting combination. So, Aquarius, this I want to say is you, okay? Because we've got at the top there the alchemical symbol for air. Now, this is why I want to say it's you, though, too, because Aquarius, to me, are like, they do things very different than the norm. Okay, they don't do things the normal way that most people do things. Like, they kind of march to the beat of their own drum. And that's what I'm seeing you do, Aquarius. Or you're in a situation. And so I think that kind of the way this is coming across to me is that you're really in some type of conflict in your mind, right? Because we've got the mind here, and Aquariuses are all about the mind. They can overanalyze. They can be all up in the mind, thinking about things. But you're so unconventional, Aquarius. Like, you do things so much different, like I said, than the norm. And I think that why you're feeling a little conflicted right now, whoever this is that I've been tapping to, it's that you usually do things a certain way, and you're having to do things completely different. And that's why you're having a little bit of conflict, because maybe there's a part of you that's like, ugh, like you wouldn't normally do something like you're about to. And that's what you're debating on the mind, is there's maybe a point that you get to. And I do want to say, this kind of comes down to the people in your life or the jobs in your life. Like, maybe you are used to cutting things out quite easily, Aquarius. And it's like, for some of you, this is coming across differently. Maybe you've been in a dynamic where it's actually, in the past, it's been really easy to cut people out. It's been really easy to cut jobs out or cut situations out that aren't serving you. But there's this conflict inside of you because maybe for the first time in your life, you're having to stay. Maybe for the first time in your life, you're having to commit to something and really work it out. So that's why I see things are having to be completely different in your reality. And that's why you're feeling conflicted in the mind, because it's different than how you normally do things. So whatever has been easy for you in the past, it is not going to be so easy, because I feel like you're almost receiving some type of divine guidance or wisdom, and it comes to, it's like all in accordance with your healing process, Aquarius. So you might think in your mind, this is how I usually do things, and this is how I usually heal. None of that is going to be the same this next week or two, okay? there's almost like a direction that you're being pushed in, and that's why it might feel a little uncomfortable, Aquarius, because you might be used to just like doing things like maybe a little bit like impulsive. You just decide, yep, I'm done with this, and you go, you know. Or usually like there's a person where it gets to a certain point of dissatisfaction where you're like, yep, like it's good, cutting that out. And there's almost like this relationship that it's like those things that you normally do, they don't apply. They're not going to apply, and they're not going to work in this dynamic. And that's why it's completely flipping you on your head. It's like, what? Like, you're having to completely restructure your whole mind and how you normally do things. And that's why it's kind of flipping you on a different side of things, like making you view things completely different. Because it's almost like the universe has a different idea for you and your healing process. There's a different way for you to, and it is very positive with this frog card coming out. I feel like, Aquarius, you might think that you need to do certain things or go in a certain direction to heal, and it's going to be different than you're expecting, is what I'm hearing. Like, you're going to have to kind of release that control that you're wanting to have over this situation or relationship, and it's all for your benefit. It's going to bring you healing, is what I love about this frog energy. That's all about healing. So then this is kind of the interesting one I had popping out, the spider. Now, I want to say that, like, it could be an earth sign that you're dealing with, a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. It doesn't have to be. And I'm also going to throw out there that it could be a water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, okay? But kind of take that however it resonates, if it does or doesn't. But what I think, this is kind of like my cosmic web. This is where I talk about connections that are coming back in for another rendezvous. These are rendezvous points, each one of these connections. So I feel like, Aquarius, what's kind of happened is you go through periods where there's some type of like disconnection, but this relationship, whoever this is for you in your life, or maybe even a job, this could even be a job that kind of comes back around, maybe one that you've left in the past, and it always kind of circles back up into your experience, okay? It comes back around for another go, you know? And so that's why it kind of is a little bit like the what's it called, like the snake or the sea serpent card. It is kind of similar, but the only difference is that with the spider, this is all about your like creation, you know. It's, you're coming to these specific rendezvous points in your life, very destined, very like coordinated by whatever, your higher self, your 5D self, or maybe even like the universe and your guides. This is where it's coming in for really specific points in your life, because it's helping you in your creation process, okay, is what I'm hearing, Aquarius. So let me see what else kind of I'm picking up with this, because this is so, I feel like there's just, I think I am going to pull one more, because I feel like there's one more key player in this dynamic. So let me see what else pops out. We'll see if something does. I'm feeling like Spirit's saying yes, but there's a few too many. Hold on, Aquarius. I keep feeling like it's with a specific person. Yeah, okay, so here we've got the rabbit. Now, it's interesting, this is another Earth card. So I want to say, Aquarius, this is so fascinating. I think what's happening is you might be communicating with someone that you feel like it kind of comes back to this, and maybe you're wanting healing with this person, okay? There's been some type of unfinished business. And I think you guys could be tempted to reach out to them, but it's almost because you've been getting some type of even signs from the universe. Now, I'm not saying full blown, for some of you, if this is romantic, I'm not saying that it's going to full blown go back into union and, you know, like, oh, like love relationship again. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, you might, Aquarius, have to do something different than normal because you're feeling like there's some type of healing that needs to take place with a connection that usually comes back around. So maybe, and I think why you're feeling a little bit out of your comfort zone with this and why it's feeling a little bit out of the norm is because, like I said previously, Aquarius, I think you have a pretty easy time staying detached, cutting people out. Like, you're pretty good at that. You're pretty good at moving forward. And, you know, once something is done, it's done. But there's one specific relationship that it's almost like uncanny how there are things that come back in your reality that make you think of this person or remind you of this person. Like, it's not even just full-blown like synchronicities that you're creating with your mind. There are weird things that are happening that are like feel almost universal, where things come back into your reality. And that's where I'm feeling a little bit of struggle in your mind, Aquarius, where you're like, what? Like, what is this? Why does this keep coming back in? Because you're trying to move forward mentally and you're trying to just disconnect and do what you usually do. But there's something that keeps like popping up in your reality and it almost triggers you. You're very aware of the signs that you keep seeing. Like whatever they are of this person, like maybe you see their name somewhere, but I feel like it's much more extreme. Like, there have been out of the norm synchronicities that are popping up around a specific person that you have kind of unfinished business with, or some type of like a deep connection with, but there's some healing that still needs to take place either within you about them or between the two of you. Because the other thing I'm seeing, Aquarius, is you might not usually connect with people. Like I was saying previously, you could cut them out and you're done and you're able to disconnect. But with this person, I feel like you're being tempted to communicate because this is the communication mind card. You're thinking about it. And if you do, this is exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to dive into the tarot now, but there's going to be some triggering here. I think both of you are going to be very hyper aware. Like, it's all of a sudden, I even think both of you knew that this was coming. I think both of you are experiencing the same type of things on both sides, the same type of triggering, the same type of connection. And I think there's a bit of a distance between the two of you. Let me see what else comes out, though. Let's see. What can we get for Aquarius on this? So yeah, this doesn't have to be romantic. I'm not necessarily picking up on romantic so far. It could be friend, it could be an old, like I said, job or boss. There's something here where, and I am going to take that with that Five of Swords popping out. I think in the past, it kind of came to a point where it was an impasse. There was like, it was a no-win situation. And this could be in any way, shape, or form. Maybe your outside environment was making it impossible for this relationship to thrive and work. So like I was saying, maybe there's a distance. What did I say about the Two of Wands coming out? Maybe there was a distance between the two of you, or maybe there was like just outside influences that made this finally come to a head of being a no-win situation. It was just an impasse. So that's kind of the previous, you know, like if you guys are resonating with that message, that might be the previous energy to kind of give you a confirmation that this is your, you know, like situation or relationship that you were dealing with, or environment. So let's see what else we can get for Aquarius on this. Aquarius. Yeah, there's going to be some communication. And you know what's interesting is I can just feel like the energy between the two of you where both of you are just like, I even want to say some guards immediately go up when it comes back in, you know, or when the communication happens. Both of you are just kind of like taking a deep breath, taking a step back, and you're not even really listening to each other's words or anything. You're listening to everything behind the words. You're listening to the energy and the vibrations. You're picking up on that. That's what you're using with your observation. You're using like the receptors in the cells of your body to pick up on vibrations within the other person. That's what you're using, and both of you are doing it. That's the interesting thing that I'm seeing. Ooh, because we've got the Empress card, and it was coming in upside down, so I am going to take that. I think in the past what's happened is both of you, the reason why it came to an impasse or a close was because there wasn't enough nurturing in the relationship. There wasn't enough like healing, and like it's like there was this blockage between the compassion, the love, and the nurturing between the two of you. That's what finally came to a head, because that's what your 3D reality was causing between the two of you. It was causing things, and maybe even one of you, this is like my independent card. So maybe even one of you was struggling with your independence, like setting some type of, like getting your material fulfillment, or this could be anything. When it comes to independence and even self-nurturing, this could be how you took care of your body, how you took care of your finances, how you took care of like your job and career. This is so many areas that it could touch on here, but that's just kind of clarifying what the impasse and the conflict was between the two of you, why it finally came to like a no-win situation. So let me see what else comes out. Yeah, I think what happened, okay, yeah, these are perfect. So here is, and these are all upside down, so that's why I'm going to say this is all the past energy. So this is just, like I was saying, Aquarius, it's giving more clarification just so you guys know if this reading resonates for you or not. There's a long history here, and there was probably a lot of like work and patience and energy put into this. There was probably like, oh my gosh, like you put more into it than I think you were getting out, and that's why it felt like even tedious, like you had to be patient with it because you had to just keep feeding more and more of your energy into it, okay? But there is the long history there, but it's like maybe even what happened is because the Seven of Pentacles is all about dedication, perseverance, hard work that you put into something, your energy that you put into something day after day. And maybe part of the reason why it disconnected is because you weren't seeing anything bloom from it. You weren't seeing any of your seeds and the energy that you put into it actually like, what's the word, like germinate? No, maybe that's the right word, but you weren't seeing anything actually come to fruition, all the work that you were putting into it. So that's why it just felt like a no-win situation. But there's still some healing needing to be done here, because I do think, if anything, it's still triggering you in your current relationships, Aquarius. That's why this triggering is coming up here. Now, I want to say, and look, here it is. So here's King of Wands. It could be also a fire sign. I mean, we've got pretty much all the freaking elements on the table here, so take your pick, but it could be an Aries, Leo, Sag that you were dealing with. If not, if that doesn't apply, it was at least someone, I think that the way you perceive them, Aquarius, is that they were like center of attention, very charismatic, like had to, maybe like needed attention, didn't necessarily know how to be by themselves. And I think that's what bothered you in a way, Aquarius. Like you were like, this person has no idea how to be okay just on their own, which to me, Aquariuses are generally pretty good at. Like they know how to take care of themselves, and sometimes that's why I think that they can be a little intolerant of people that just need to be with people, because I think you can see the codependency behind that, Aquarius. So that's why I think what happened is there was this disconnection. There was a tower moment. There was a breakup between the two of you in the relationship. So this is why. It was because there's, like I was saying, there's some healing that's needing to take place within you. And for some of you, it could actually be, like I was saying, what you're usually used to at the beginning with the hummingbird. There's going to be some type of different way that you approach your healing process with this person. So maybe if you guys are just used to cutting things off, this could be where there could be some communication coming in between the two of you, which you're not usually used to. Maybe you've gotten to the point, Aquarius, where you're just so used to loss happening that this is where the growth is coming in. this is where it's going to be all new, everything. Like, your healing process is going to look completely different than how it's ever been in the past, because I think what's happened is there's almost been a buildup and an accumulation of just like emotions suppressed within you. And it's almost coming to this boiling point of where you're sick of the loss, you're sick of like things not working out, you're sick of going through. This can sometimes be like it affecting your self-esteem. This is wondering like, why do things never work out for me? You know, you're kind of in your own darkness, and this is why it comes to those periods. Those emotions have been suppressed for a long period of time, and that's what I'm hearing is this Mercury retrograde probably brought a lot of that to the surface, where it's bleeding too much in your 3D reality, Aquarius. It's just affecting it way too much. All this suppression, it's coming out into the limelight. It can't be suppressed any longer. There's more work that has to be done. So, and I think normally what you do too, Aquarius, is sometimes like you turn to work to try to distract yourself, which isn't the worst thing, okay? Like I'm saying, you should always do things that light you up, but for some of you, you might have just like taken your focus away from your healing that needed to be done with this, whatever, this relationship or this person. And so what you've done is just focused on the work that you need to do during your day. You've just kind of put your face to the grindstone. You're like, I'm just gonna eat. That's what I'm seeing is you're kind of like trying to avoid feeling the emotions of it, and you're just focusing on work instead. Okay, so Aquarius, I'm gonna dive into this in the extended because I think, like I was saying at the beginning, I feel like there's communication that's gonna happen between you and another person, possibly, or you're at least thinking about it. And it might be very different for you, the way that you usually handle things, okay? So if you want to dive into the extended with me, you can just go down below in the description box, click on the PayPal link, send over $10, and please, please remember to put in the comments or the description Aquarius, the title of the video, the published date, and your email address where you would like me to send the link over to you to view the extended. So Aquarius, if this is kind of where we leave things, I'm sending you guys so much love, wishing you all the very best, and I will see you in your next reading. Take care.